All right, a beautiful afternoon to everybody out there. Welcome all our viewers to Landslide News. But today, matters arising all throughout yesterday and today, a lot in the politics that needs to be discussed, from PDP to APC to ADC and probably to the states. You're welcome. And having been with me today on the set is our new Minister of Petroleum. All right. Okay, so that's Ishaya, and I have Dumpy with his word. He came in and they didn't sell the form to him. What happened?
Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers. It's unfortunate that we're seeing the drama that is heralding within the PDP household, and it becomes an embarrassing moment, very unfortunate, and for me, it's something that I don't think elders like that should do in the party. When they started the party, from the G18 to G34, Lamido was among them, even though he was among the boys that were among he came in the platform of Abu Karimi. But I felt it was an embarrassing situation when I saw what Lamido did yesterday, because there are modalities. There are modalities in terms of party formation and party administration. First and foremost, this convention was announced long time ago, and I expected that in any case, why would you just suddenly appear when they sell the form? Last week when they finished the consensus, when they zone it, they sat down. The former governor, the former PDP steward, who is partyless now, the governor of Bayelsa, was the one that chaired the zoning.
That's the Ediri.
And they zoned the chairmanship to the north. They were trying to move it to the North-Central, but I guess there were problems that they wanted. They knew that there were kind of some people, emissaries, that wanted to hijack from the North-Central and give it to somebody they don't like, and that's why some of them made sacrifice and said they should move it to the northwest. The party sat down. They had meeting twice. The whole north sat down and they had meeting twice. At the end, the governors maybe had their own choice of bringing Kabiru Turaki, who is a chieftain of the party, who has been so consistent and committed. He has never derailed from doing anything, from doing a kind of hanky pack in the party. He decided to say, okay, let them pick him as one of the person who will be the chairman, the flag bearer. All of them agree that Kabiru Turaki should go. The former governor of Kaduna State was on the rest. What's his name? McCarthy was on the rest. He resigned from the PDP successor form closed on it. When yesterday he decided to go buy the form, and then the secretary of the party, who have not been to office for the past 2 months, that's Ayahu, decided to show off. And then he went to Ayahu office to buy a form with the cameraman, media men, and this. Is it Ayahu that sells form? It don't sell form. Nobody want to buy from. They've set up a secretariat there, the convention secretariat at the Legacy House. If you want to buy from, there are people that.
But all of a sudden, there's a twist. Has he joined the Wikis group?
Just like our senior brother have said, it's a surprise to all of us. Seeing a man of that standing in PDP. When we talk about PDP and those who have remained firm with the party, looking at the antecedents of Lamido. He's not someone that of course, yesterday we see him talking like someone that could actually be a sponsor agent. It has passed that age. It has passed that manipulation or passed that, prediction. If it is a younger person, I could have just said, okay, maybe he's yes. But looking at him, but let's still give some benefit of doubt. He may be out of maybe, politics, sometimes young people can talk you into something. Talk a 77 or 78 man old. You don't roll it out. But I believe, that's why I say let us still give him a benefit of doubt. I think if he's going to be interviewed again today, most of the things he said yesterday, I think most of them will be edited.
No, but him also now forming an alliance with Ayahu, going to Ayahu's office. Ayahu has not been in office for the past 2 months. He has been fighting the party that is an illegal, that his signature was forged and all that stuff. Does it spell some rats?
Like I said, if you look at it again, sometimes politics always throws surprises, and that is the beauty of politics, because it's a game that is unpredictable. You can see an honorable person today, and tomorrow he will begin to dance. Let me not use the word naked in the market square. So, but I still give him some respect, having known or want to, go back to most of his press release. His press release of days of some time doesn't correlate with what I saw yesterday.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to see if it is the younger people that are pushing him to this what we are seeing now. So that's why I said let's give him some benefit of a kind of time. But in a nutshell, I don't believe that everybody should be mad just because of the season, the timing of this political era is making people to get mad. At that age, and of course, he should have been playing a father. I don't even expect him to run for a party chairman in the first place. Such a man should be the leaders of the party,
the elders of the party.
Yes, at the background, who could caution or direct the party affairs from behind. But seeing all the old people that were like reservoir of the party now at the front, all of them want to be party chairman, then tells you that even the rich are hungry.
There's nothing wrong with the elders. There's nothing wrong with the elders.
Elders becoming chairman.
If there are crises, elders will be the one that can put the
house in order.
They respect them. Some of them have a very good conscience.
Who will be the one to caution the party? And
that's why I'm saying that if you know you're an elder, you're supposed to respect yourself. There are some red lines you're not supposed to cross. Because first and foremost, you know that clearly there was a procedure, and you've known that this procedure have been there right from onset, right from the time of the LS equipment and the rest.
Yes,
we had procedure when they are selling from. They came out with a good blueprint. Now you came again on that. You did not even show first. You don't. After all, it was with Atiku in ADC. Has he now came back fully? Say he's now in PDP. We have had several neck meetings. He was not there. So why? That's why sometimes when I look at these people, I feel very, very ashamed of myself.
They say an owl cries in the night, a child dies in the morning. Now, the last time we saw Sule Lamido was when he attended a wedding with the president of the nation. Yeah. Do you think that could have had an effect on him?
He was invited in that wedding.
Yes, but they met there.
And they met.
And they exchanged pleasantries.
It's not, I cannot overrule those.
And the thing is that almost everything Sule Lamido spoke about the president, if you notice, never ever came out for a counter claim.
No, there was time his boys came out to counter him. I remember what's his name, the Minister of Mines and this thing. He countered him one day when he said that he lied on the issue of when they started the June 12 and the rest. So many things he countered. If you listen to
I never heard.
He spoke on that. What's his name? Minister of Mines.
That's
somebody.
Yeah.
He countered a lot of things. He countered him. I listened to him. It was even like 30 minutes at the game.
But the country most of the time don't usually come from.
Get the facts right. No, of course, if you're a minister under the government of Asiwaju, you are talking about
Asiwaju. To defend the government.
You defend him. He defended him. I listened to him. But politicians, if you enter their fight, you will end up they mess you up. The way I saw them when they hug each other, they kind of hug each other. I thought that if they see each other, they will use slap each other. But when the president gave me a very good hug, so I don't know whether that hug something passed through his pocket. So those are things I don't trust these politicians. They are not, some of them are just, they don't have integrity.
But let me come on the side of the PDP convention, or the PDP as a party. Sometimes it looks as if they are not standing on their own or standing to their word. They were supposed to have a neck meeting, that's the 103rd. They never did. Now we are hearing that they are postponing the screening of aspirants.
My brother, I think it's good. Let not don't have plenty enemies. I don't even know where they are coming from. If this house today, they say they want to pull this house down, they want to cause problem. This one come and break. At the end, you don't know where is the fight. Like if there's smoke, you don't know where the smoke coming from.
Yeah.
You think we have settled this one. No? Suddenly we see this one coming. And so that's the problem. And especially Nigerians, we are taking this advantage to make more, to enrich ourselves. That's why somebody said, if we can come there and say, give you a good money tomorrow, maybe you change your mind tomorrow and start talking about him, because you have compromised. You've done swallow hook, and the hook one is that if you pull it, you either you destroy, you either allow the hook and then say let him.
And the former legal advisor, he was on this show of PDP. Yeah. He told us that Wike can give generously.
Oh yes, that's not that about. Wike is a giver. He's a giver. He knows how to give. But for God's sake, is that how we want to build a country? by everybody, I decide I will take money and give it, this one. We will not build a country. We will end up having a fallacy. As far as I'm concerned, let's look for the future. How do we give a better development? Country in terms of development, the economy, in terms of the stability of the naira, educational sector, the health sector, and other sectors. Okay, the budget is only funded in one side. The MDAs are complaining, they don't give them money. And where you are collecting money on daily basis. Next year again, that's when we're going to enter into a very big.
All right. Do you think PDP? How did PDP get to where they are now? Sometimes we think they are coming out of the quagmire, but sometimes it looks as if they're still neck deep in it. Don't we?
I think it should. Should I say I should predict or authoritatively say it's since 2015 they lost election. They lost the presidential election.
Yeah.
I think that is where the center could not hold again. And some of them who have been used to the federal resource, some of them are breathing from the federal government, from the presidency.
Yeah.
Once that was disconnected, I now saw people running around. Some of them were not comfortable again. Some of them could not even withstand 1 year of opposition, where we expected them to also give APC the kind of opposition, battle they gave PDP. Okay, so some of them were not masters in this politics of playing opposition, so they ran.
No, but at some point they came into order. As in 2019, it was a formidable. They came at that point and became a formidable. And they unseated that government. Good. It's just unfortunate that the man was not. He didn't allow that thing to go. If they had allowed to come with that kind of a tempo, would have been better off. But the moment Atiku lost election, he disappeared.
So that's why I said.
And then he was the one that caused the problem again in 2022.
That's why I said the effect would triple. So the effect started from 250.
Yes, yeah.
Most of them don't know how to manage opposition, and they were in a good standing to even get power. If Atiku had lost in 2019,
they won the election.
If Atiku, okay, let me use the word. If he was not given the power in 2019, they could have reinforced.
But they did.
They did. I'm coming. But if you look at 2023, the unity was no longer there.
There was still unity, but the convention split them into two.
Okay, I'm coming now. That's where the G5 came in.
Yeah.
Were they able to manage the situation? These are things that ordinary me, I could handle such a situation. Okay, these were aggrieved. What are they aggrieved? One of them needed the vice presidency. Let me use the word. So
first of all, he contested for the presidential.
Okay, you look at the force that could have given you a strong electoral victory. You refuse to ignore. And then some of them were bold enough to go on media and say, we don't even need the 5 governors. Okay, what does the 5 governors lost to them? Was it better payback? He gave them a very, devastating blow. And that is where the situation is. So, to manage themselves since that 2015, 2019, and 2023 become like the boss just said, many problems that you don't even know where the punches are coming from. But in all, the leadership of the current leadership, from the chairman to the secretary, are the worst, disastrous leadership I've ever seen in PDP. I will put it to them that it is the NWC that failed the party. The governors have tried. If you look at it very well, the governors are the people who have even tried to see how to,
all the governors?
Yes, no, I'm coming. The governors, just use the word governors. They have provided supplements to the party all this while. But the NWC that was, okay, what about those parties that doesn't have governors? That you see their leadership doing very well. But this one, instead of their leadership to, they start infighting within themselves. This one now has a faction. This one now has a faction. The chairman himself does not even have that capacity to lead a great party like PDP. So I would say in a nutshell that leadership of PDP is the problem of PDP. And I'm hoping that by this their convention or whatsoever, when new leadership comes, I think PDP will be revived. I can predict that they will be revived.
Okay, so he talks about the governor that they've been sustaining the party. We don't know how much of the party they've been sustaining. They've all been running out. We don't know how many they are today. At a particular time when they filed for Fubara's interpretation of Supreme Court interpretation for the Supreme Court, they were 11. But right now we don't even know where they are. Muftwang is fighting to run away from PDP. So many APC say they want it or they don't want it. What's Muftwang looking for?
Well, I don't know, because I've had that rumor. I'm not sure whether Muftwang has any distance that he wants to leave the PDP. I've asked. They said that I don't. It's not there. But you know, the problem, what Muftwang is just been not too sure or has been afraid of is what happened with them in that after the post-election of this 2023. That most of the House of Rep were removed because of the internal party of the party that when they had issues of the election of their Congress, state congresses, and that is where I know his fear might be come from. But if at the end of this convention the PDP stabilizes and everything goes well, I'm sure there's no cause for alarm, because as far as I'm concerned, Plateau is not afraid of APC. Why Plateau will always one thing I like about the Plateau is that when they go one way, they say one way.
Yes.
Why make them lost in 2015 is because the former governor wanted to bring his own cousin to take over from him, and that's why they rejected it and went to vote. Otherwise, Lalong was not a popular person. Who do know in Plateau? But because of that, they wanted to show to prove a point. And even in second tenure, you know that definitely there's no way would have won the election. That they let Jeremiah was saying at least give it to body, because of the power play, the power play with APC. That's what happened. But however, I don't think for now, I don't know, because I've asked. They even had their Congress last week. I don't think if he has that mind to go. But however, because of this kind of insecurity that they're looking of safeties, that may have caused the problem.
Okay, let me come to the ADC. Yeah. The ADC are accusing Tinubu government of manipulating food prices. ADC looks to be like an option for 2027, but sometimes they also falter. But now they are on the news talking as an opposition party.
Yeah.
Do you give them a chance?
About the food price?
Both the food price
yeah.
and as a party.
No, ADC is the alternative. That is one thing. Everybody, I think you and all our viewers should know, is the beautiful brides. Okay, once rain is falling, someone provides you an umbrella. So appreciate the person. That's what ADC have just provided for Nigeria.
PDP has provided us an umbrella before.
But that one thought, we can have thought they don't log out with it. So we have now coming up with an alternative for Nigerians to or lean on. So I am so happy. Then seeing us commenting on the food price is cosmetic, and Nigerians should not be deceived again. It's high time that we will pinpoint everything that the administration of Tinubu is doing and then show it to them that we know this is tricks. You getting my point?
Yeah.
So the ADC are there to do that. Every tricks they have been, using it to deceive Nigerian. We will pick it up one after another and prove to them that this is just a tricks to us. How will you just import rice and then start, forcing Nigerians to begin to smile because of rice? Everything in the country, everything in the country, all are not working. And you want me to celebrate? Okay, we're celebrating rice as if we are Clinton. So my party is right in pointing out to them that this is just a tricks on the country. So we are not going to accept that. If they want foods to come down in Nigeria, there are many methods to do, and the indices will show Nigerian that food have really come down. Not just to pretend to us that because a bag of rice is now 80,000 naira in the market, so we should begin to clap. Why I cannot even transport myself? Why I cannot even transport myself?
We bought a bag of rice for 7,000 now.
All right, I have some breaking news. We just got some news that the visa or let me read it.
Yeah.
U.S. revokes Soyinka visa.
Yeah.
The Nobel literate express surprise.
Yeah.
Well, he has said before that if Trump wins, he will not go to America. So maybe they helped him to do that. We don't have all the details right now. We'll be back with the details. We'll get you more details of that as the matter goes on. So ADC, like you were talking, but there are so many other issues with ADC as we speak. Can you pinpoint some of those issues?
Issues like a problem, like what? Or development?
For example, the party doesn't have a base of its own. That's number one. Number two, we are also seeing that is the old guards that are there. Talking about David Mark, talking about Boshola, talking about the legal advisor, former governor of Edo State. I mean, all of them, the old guards are still there.
So if you are talking about base, are you talking about having a particular governor, or is that what you mean by
no,
base?
The base that I'm talking about, the people, the foundation of ADC looks to be like used people. Tokumbo.
But that is not correct, sir.
Okay, that's how I want you to put me right.
In 2023, they said Obi did not have base. They use so many languages that if you sit down and listen, if you want to listen to those people on the television, you'll be discouraged. But what happened? Obi keep moving on without base, with everything. Even one of the senator today said that there were 5 people in the house that are tweeting. But what happened? If they could have allowed the results that was transmitted to be announced, Obi could have been the president of this country. That man that did not have a base. The same thing is what is applicable again. They have repeated the same chorus that ADC does not have a base. We'll tell them, please, can they just concentrate on their problem and leave us to continue building our structure? Who in ADC that you will say it doesn't have a base? Are you talking about Atiku?
They are saying that there is spent force. Atiku has been contesting as the president of this country for the past 31 to 33 years.
So who is the pen force? The result of 2023 election was what? Is that a pen force? People, you don't just talk. I don't want to mention, this is not people that, these are forces in Nigeria. There's no election since 1999, 2019 to date. Atiku is not a force. It's either is the first or the second. So is that a pen what? They are more afraid. Let me, combination of Atiku, combination of Peter Obi, combination of El-Rufai, combination of Amechi is the highest threat.
Is Peter still in ADC? He has not attended any meeting of sort. And ADC have also said that they should resign if you know you want to. ADC was supposed to be a coalition. Yeah. Obviously, or as we can see,
Obi have given the reason why he has not resigned, because the Labour Party has a governorship election this November here in Anambra State. So everything is clear after the governorship election, because he's supporting the candidate of Labour Party in Anambra State. After the election, Obi will, formally do the right thing. Okay, but at the moment, Obi is also campaigning for a chairmanship candidate in Almac, ADC chairmanship. So you can see, it's not a party now that you put on. It is your ability to show commitment. Forget about those that are wearing the cap of ADC or APC, but they are indirectly working against it. What Obi has so far, without wearing the cap of ADC, is doing, most of the people even wearing the cap are not doing. He's going around the country, giving a good marketing image of the party. What else do you expect him to contribute? Do you think is something he must also come on media or should be hanging around the party office? What he is doing internationally, locally, is creating more awareness and giving more impact and convincing Nigeria where the direction is. So I will beg everybody to just exercise a bit patient with ADC. I'm telling you that party is the force ever Nigeria will ever see.
All right, Ishaya, let me come to you. ADC was looked at a particular point to be an alternative to the opposition party, which is PDP, but it's like their strengths have been withered down.
Well, I have seen the ADC moving. I have seen some of their meetings and some of their this thing. I don't know how would they be able to survive some of the, because I will listen to Adama yesterday. Adama have 2 parties, chairman, factional and this one, and others again is
that's in ADC.
In ADC, I swear this one has his own camp. What's the name? The former SGF has his own camp, and then the other one has his own camp. So of course, some of us look up to them and say this thing. But my still fear is that these same people that cause problem in the PDP and make us have that not to get that ticket are the simple that move back to ADC again. The like of David Mark was not the one that chaired the convention of the PDP, and I gave it to Atiku. Atiku took the ticket of the distance. Likewise, some Lamido were there. Adamu was the main, I was there. El-Rufai, well, I don't know El-Rufai. I don't know where El-Rufai is going to, because I know whether it's in ADC or in this, but El-Rufai has his own skeleton that that some of us will not even want when he hear that name. It's like the pour fire on the distance. You understand? I don't know if Amechi, but however, if there's a good formidable administration among themselves, and they're able to put the house in order, of course, if they allow PDP, the people would have done much better. But we're just still looking. We don't know where it works. But I know by the grace of God, we'll have a one out of this. I like the way they attack the the government in power about the issue of rice, which I hope them too, they will have a better way. I have no problem with them, but my fear is that the choice, the recruitment of the presidential candidate, that's where you will know whether they will survive or they will not stand. Because as long as you go back to Atiku again, there's problem. And Atiku is not giving up. And most of his people that is putting there is a appendage, like David Mark and the rest. So I have no problem with that. I wish them well. I know that I pray that let's have a better Nigeria. Let's have a better
just lastly, 3 known figures seems to be interested in the presidential ticket of the ADC. That's Atiku Abubakar, Rotimi Amechi, and Peter Obi. Good. What do you think?
The best, they are the best. Three are the best. Any of them that will be put forward for us, I know is not going to be out of the 3. Any of them, in their wisdom, in the wisdom of our leaders, of the party leaders, and they present to us.
To be good for you,
not for me.
As long as
but for the party,
yes,
for
Nigeria,
country.
because all of them has 1 or 2 things that Nigerians hold on to that they can do better than.
If you do a mistake, I'm bringing Atiku back in that distance. We are going back to the
Atiku has never done any crime except
he has not been a president.
No,
take that ticket again. I can assure you that you have the same thing.
No, all right, you have a better backing now.
No, I will back it because some of us will back up.
Okay,
most of us, because there's no way we will take it back.
Guys, we'll be right.
It's okay.
We'll be right back in the next 30 seconds. Please don't go with 30 seconds. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back. Some guys just joined me. Malam Okafor and should I change your to Malam Philip?
No.
Philip Adu Odogu. All right, Okafor.
Yeah.
Just suddenly, visa for the American visa of Wole Soyinka, the Nobel laureate, has been terminated.
Yeah, the good thing is that he was the one that announced it to the public, calling people after receiving a letter of cancellation, which is honorable. We have had cases where visas were cancelled and the people got to know at the airport, after making travel plans and all that, but he received a letter letting him know that his B1, B2 visa is cancelled. It appears like it's sudden. He said he needed to do this announcement so that the people expect him in a program in the US and things like that would know that he's been banned. That he's been banned and he can't travel anymore, since he doesn't have the visa. So it's also not as sudden as people might take it. US has been involved in some kind of re-evaluation of some of the visas given out before. Earlier in September, he had received an invitation asking him to come for visa re-interview. As a matter of fact, when he received that, he thought it was from 419 because nothing of such has ever been received by him from either UN embassy or any other embassy for that matter. So when he received that letter for re-interview, he treated it with levity that it could be this job of 419 stuffs, or he even used the word maybe AI generated letters or things like that. So he discarded it before he got to realize that the letter inviting for interview was indeed genuine. The time was over. He reflected looking backward. He doesn't have any criminal record. There's nothing in his background that made him think his visa should be cancelled and all that. But essentially, he said if anybody's looking for him, you know where to see him.
Philip, before now he has told us that if Trump gets back to the White House, that he personally tear his American visa. He will not be visiting. So I think they helped him to get there faster than because Trump has been in power now close to a year and he hasn't done that.
Very well. You see, America is a country that we should all be proud of. Especially this Donald Trump government. Donald Trump has said that African leader develop Africa so that African immigrants should not come and be disturbing them in America. And Donald Trump has threatened to ban some influential Africans visa from entering in America because of the role they played in perpetuating bad governance in their country. If you look at the history of Olusegun, in recent time, some of us have said that the man died in Olusegun because he's the author of the book. The man died, and if you read that book, you will see that what is happening to Nigeria is a history of a true story of a man that died. Olusegun, all of a sudden, we don't hear a voice in criticizing, the governance of the bad governance,
the ills of the
governance. Olusegun was among those who ensured that Jonathan government didn't survive. They were involved in so many protests, and he went all over the world to campaign against the Jonathan's government. And then all of a sudden, when the APC came on board, and now the Yoruba man Olusegun is seen around government. If you remember, the Jonathan government gave him an award, merit award,
and he refused to.
And he refused to. But when it comes to the time of Tinubu, that has question mark in his government, that has history in America that we cannot explain, he gave him an award, and he wholeheartedly accepted that award. What does that amount to? So I am so happy with the news that the fact he's just putting a bold face to announce to the world that he's banned because of his activity in recent time in issue of bad governance. So he deserved what he got.
All right, Okafor, what the American government said practically was that government officials that are aiding and abetting corruption are going to be banned from America. I don't know what Soyinka to be a government official. He's an elder statesman. He's over 90 years old. He's a world figure in the field of literature. He received a Nobel laureate at a particular time. What could have inspired America to withdraw his visa?
All right. If we look specifically to the letter, the letter says this. This letter serves as official notification by the United States Consulate General in Lagos that the non-migrant visa listed below has been revoked pursuant to the authority contained in U.S. Department of State regulations. So there is no specific reason that is listed there. Generally, you could as well go and assume, like the way Soyinka assumed rather than verifying. when he received the letter, he didn't need to assume they are 419 or whatever. He assumed wrongly. So I think it's on Soyinka to specifically request from the U.S. government to know the actual reason why it was right. If it's within their authority and within their regulation to reveal such to him, they will let him know. No, going back to clear himself from criminal record, that I've looked back, I didn't have any criminal record and all that. You don't clear yourself. The prerogative of visa
lies on the government,
on the authority that is issuing that visa. It is on them to know what you have done and not done. Even getting the visa in itself, I know most people know this, doesn't guarantee that you are going to get entrance to that country. Visa is just a document that allows airline operator to board you to the border of that other country. When you get there, the border agent is still going to determine whether you're going to come in or not. So you don't clear yourself of anything. He can't clear himself of anything. Now, his assumption that the letter he received from authority was fake and AI generated has probably contributed to the revocation, because when you are given the opportunity to attend an interview for re-interview to revalidate your visa, it means that it's an important part that is required to sustain that visa. If you do not do such, barring what other reasons that are behind your background, you shouldn't continue to gain that visa.
Okay, Philip, I know you are quite happy that his visa has been revoked.
I don't live up to expectations. He's a man that I respected. He was my mentor until recently that he lost
the card of
that position ethnicity in my life.
But beyond that, also is the fact that there are a lot of people in government that have government the U.S. visa, either diplomatic or the B1, the B2 visa of America, and all of them are stealing our funds and building houses in America. Yes. One of them is an alleged one that Showore talked about, Yesom Muke, the FCT minister. We've not seen America do anything about that, even though it's been reported in America.
You know, America is a country of rules, law and order, and their procedure. You know, yes, the matter has been reported. They will carry out their thorough investigation, and when if they find him wanting, I can assure you, you know, this is the beginning, because Soyinka is a big name in the world. Like you said, he's a Nobel laureate. He won a Nobel laureate in the world as far back over 20 years ago. For the American government to say they revoke his visa, it means that nobody is above the law. That when you want to come down on anybody, whether you're a government official, whether you're a minister, you're a president, they will revoke that visa.
Do you think they should still extend it to corrupt Nigerians?
They have said it before. You quoted it, that they said government officials who aid and abet corruption, they don't mind their ways. They will do it. And when they will do it, what they are waiting for is to get the right information. When they have the concrete evidence, they will go ahead.
Do you think they should operate on that premise of corruption and bad leadership?
Yeah, you can think they should do anything that you like or want, but American government don't operate that way. The duty of American government and the elected officials of American government is to do those things that is of American interest. If what you wish or want does not fall in line with American interest, they're not going to do nothing. Somebody like Donald Trump or any other American president, we do everything that is in the best interest of America. If your battle happen to be in synchronym or aligns with their battle, that at the end of the day the result is going to be of American interest, be rest assured that Americans are going to fight that battle. But if that your own battle has no way of contributing to what we call American interest, it is not of their duty to fight your corruption for you. You have institutions to hold your corrupt people accountable, and there is nothing stopping you from doing that. If the government of the day fails to hold the elected people or people occupying certain position accountable, we have the people that have the utmost power, and they are the voters, they are the electors. They can still do that. The most powerful government on earth is powerless in the face of organized people. But people should come to know that trying to relinquish your power to fight corrupt officials to another government who have their own
should not fight it for you.
It's not their duty.
But having said that, they also have some constitutional provision where they say they don't allow proceeds of corrupt practices.
That's what I'm
Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah.
Proceeds of corruption to be shipped to their country.
Yes, certainly.
Now, there are documents provided by Showore of a government officials involved in that what they said, and nothing has been said.
That's what I'm telling you. You think every case that needs to be investigated in America today has been investigated?
Yeah.
You think every case?
No, not every case.
So why do you think your own is going to come to this?
Because this one is already known.
Known by who?
Known by
American voters?
With documents.
Hold on. No, not American voters.
You are getting me wrong.
So listen to me when I talk.
Okay.
American voters voted Donald Trump to protect American interests, not Nigerian interests. Get that into your head.
No, what I'm saying,
Nigeria voted their own people.
Yes.
You see, this idea of thinking that they will rig election, America will come and remove your president and put another one. We should discard all that.
No. This one is not based on that premise.
Let me tell you, any investigation, any prosecution, any action has a cost. Do you know that?
Yeah.
You have a budget to support any investigation. For any prosecution government is going to do, you have a budget to support that. The duty of American government is not to budget for you if that thing does not align with American interests. The only battle that you see America fighting is a battle that protects American interests. Yours might just be a collateral battle. It happens to not fall along the line. You not think they are fighting for you. Brother, they don't do that.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that these figures, fact and figures, based on their own what they put up on fighting corruption.
Hold on. Let me make it easier. Hold on. If you, as a Nigerian citizen, pick those facts and figures, you go to the jurisdiction in America and you see their law with which they can sue that person or fight for corruption, and you decide to pursue that case, nobody's going to stop you.
Okay, all right. You wanted to say something?
Well, in addition to what he has said, the question is, with this investigation, is it of American interest? If it's not paramount to America, America is not going to do that. That's why I said
Based on their laws.
You see, their laws, what is paramount?
You see, their laws is not only about America. It's about also happenings everywhere that restrict people
Happenings
from
everywhere.
For example,
You see, what
their
America
laws
can do for you,
forbid.
what America can do for you is what they have done in the case of Wolo Soyinka. What they have done is this. Wolo Soyinka, we are just, by whatever reason, where it's not Wolo Soyinka, they said corrupt official or those who are based in their country, they will, so that you will not bring your loot to their country. They are banning you from entering their country. That's their interest.
So that's what I'm saying. That a known case have been reported.
See,
How long does it take for them to act?
See, if you bring map of the world and call 85% of Americans to point where Nigeria is, they are going to get it wrong.
Definitely.
So you over-exalt yourself in the face of outsider. Your battle is the battle to make Nigeria great will be fought by Nigerians. Nobody's going to do it for you. The day we understand that it is of us to do. No, there's nobody in America thinking of you other than for their interest and how the solving of a problem here does not affect.
More than 80 America does not know what Nigeria is. All they know is Africa.
You're Africa.
So just leave
those points on and face
Okay, all right. What you say is that you should leave that it's good for one to be denied and the other one to be not to be.
Nobody was denied.
Nobody.
It's their policy. They are following their policy.
See, let me tell you now. Okay, let's make it clear now. You are trying to front Soyinka versus Wike.
Yeah.
It is of their choice to pick the one they want to attend to. Do you understand? So it is not of you. That's that American interest I'm telling you. It is of them. When you become a president of America, you choose the one to attend to first. But now that you are a Nigerian citizen, you have everything available to you. Worst case, you are not helpless with speaking out. You can speak out from here. You can organize people to protest at the front of Wike's office tomorrow morning, demanding for him to clarify more what Shomoro has said. You have that power. Use it. Don't allow people to think people will leave their own priority to face yours. When you that has that as a priority, refuse to face it.
Okay, all right. No wahala. We'll talk to America. I will write to them. Okay, exclusive report by Sahara Reporters tells us that the effect of the coup we've been talking about is still going on. It hasn't stopped.
The rumored coup, anyway.
The rumored coup.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
The rumored coup has not. The rumor has not died down. It refused to die down. We saw it has consumed the service chiefs in a form. Not only the service chiefs, now is consuming a former state governor, Bayelsa State, Sylva,
a former Minister of Petroleum
under the Buhari administration. Now, from report reaching us, from an exclusive report carried out by Sahara Reporters, it shows that his house in Abuja here and his house in Bayelsa has been raided, and this is as a result of the coup story. From the report that he said that he's not in town, this coup stuff has refused to go away. Philip.
Yes, you see, over the week or going by a week now, the report has consistently showed that there's a former governor that is involved in the coup, although they said it's a rumor coup, and that the 16 officers detained had meeting with this former governor only upon this afternoon, where we heard that it is this afternoon. It is not a long time story that his home in Abuja here in Maitama was raided, and his home in Yanagwa, Bayelsa State. That it was precise. It's not a random thing, and his younger brother has been picked up. And it also stated that the man has fled the country. Yes, we said all this is rumor, but there's no smoke without fire. It's becoming clearer. Earlier on the day, we also discussed some group from the Yoruba Extra saying that a coup against their son is not going to be taken lightly by them. Then this afternoon, we're hearing that a home of a former minister has been raided and his brother has been picked up. And nobody has talked about the 16 officers detained. Is it that the government is playing politics with this coup matter, or is this still a rumor, or there's a coup? Like Yusuf said that, look, the government should come clear on this. Should come clean on this coup. It's high time. Okay, if you are raiding people's houses and picking up their relative and the person has fled the country. Why can't the government come clean so that we know that people actually plot coup, and then we all as a citizen will know what action to take? Because we don't wish to go back to military era. We want to enjoy our democracy. We don't want any government to be removed by force. So the government, for me, the government should come clean. You shouldn't be doing this as if you are in a gasapo. Just go to people's home and raid them. If you are saying that there's no coup, why did you raid the home of the former minister? Because it is clear that the former minister of petroleum and the former governor of Bayelsa and the former APC governorship candidate had not been good terms with the president, even though they are all APC members.
Okay, all right. For the things we see most of the time, the government don't get to explain all of them to us. But one thing they have also not mentioned or exclusively say is that the 16 people that are arrested, what were they arrested for? They said military discipline. Yeah. I mean, from the report, you got to find out that.
I was to just think of he hits that, But first of all, as a Nigerian, I think I should appeal to us across board, in as much as this is rumored and the military appear to be, the Defense Intelligence Agency in particular, appear to be working on this rumor. I think Nigerians don't want military rule. I was part of those that protested during military era because the idea, with benefit of hindsight now, I think some people might begin to think Abacha also has some good points. But because the idea we had then that was the only thing preventing Nigeria from operating at its optimum level was because it was under military rule. We did a lot of protests, a lot of all that, just to get Nigeria to democratic government, and that is where we are today. We don't want to move back. The worst of democratic governance is the better than military, any kind of military rule. So if there is anybody anywhere nothing or have attempted, because attempted coup is a coup, discussion of coup in itself is a coup. Calling people that how do we forcefully remove this government is a coup, and a coup against any government is a coup against our constitution. Our constitution is the creation that we have that brings all of us together as Nigerians. So we do not want anything like that. Now, coming back to the discarding of these things, it's beginning to look suspicious if Defense Intelligence Agency is the one spearheading this coordination. These people are drawn from the Navy, Army, and the Air Force, and whatever. They have their own disciplinary units. Every personnel is disciplined through their unit. It is not of Defense Intelligence Agency to conduct. And now that these people that are arrested, 16 of them, like was reported, are held incommunicado. What could be the offense that bind these people together that cannot be discussed and treated within their military units formations? What is it that now bringing in a former civilian governor into it is beginning to not help the government. If government knows that there was any attempt, even though it never happened, of course it never happened, that's why we are still here. Because if it happened, we probably wouldn't be here. We still want to be here.
We will still be here.
Yeah, maybe we would not. You never can tell. You don't know what it's going to be. Maybe we would not be here. That is why we want our government. We still want our Asiwaju. And after Asiwaju, we want whoever that will contest with Asiwaju. So maybe we would not be here. You don't know. So now that this thing is happening like this, the government owes Nigerian people to tell them why these officers are being held, why this investigation is going on. We do understand that the military action, certain information has to be kept secret. We don't want them to tell us the details of which home they are going to raid next or whatever. We don't want that. But let us know the offense is already in the public. Now we can't continue to deny it. Let us know what it is so that we also be careful if anybody is calling us on phone to talk about any issue. Nigerians still love their democracy. We still want to vote.
Okay, but let me also push this to you. It's good for us not to suspend the constitution of any country by any means.
By any means, yes.
Especially by coup, that's when you suspend the constitution and they rule by decree.
Yeah.
But it's also good for civilian administration administrators or administration
Not to do the same.
Not to do the same.
Yes. You know, yesterday I was saying it that when I see police commissioners like that of yesterday in particular, where the police commissioner was saying Showore shouldn't come to Lagos to protest, I said the man is talking nonsense. He does not have the power to suspend constitution. The constitution guarantees us the right, freedom of association, the freedom of movement and all that. So no authority has power to suspend protest. According to Philip used to tell us that when the government say go about your normal business, that peaceful protest is among normal business. That you cannot tell people not to protest. No, when anytime any police officer says that, he's actually trying to suspend constitution. So if all the 36 commissioners heading the state formation suspend protest across Nigeria, then you would have suspended constitution across the federation. Nobody has authority to do that. If you think you have reason to suspend constitution by any means, you approach the court. It's just like you see somebody is an armed robber, you think this person should not be moving freely among the society, you present the case to the court. It is of the court to say, oh, your right is guaranteed to move under the constitution, but by this judgment of this court, you'll be locked up in Kuje prison, you'll be locked up in Kurikiri cell. You can't shortchange any provision of the constitution without court process. You remember, even when let's not digress, when Wike was locking people's place, I say no.
You can't do that.
Once people are already living in that building, you can't come and
seal it.
You cannot seal it without court order. It is not possible.
Philip, a lot of court orders these days that have been disrespected by political actors. Do that call for things that are not supposed to be?
It's part of not, when you ask the question that civilian government should not, as a matter of fact, in as much as we don't want military rule, should not by their action suspend the constitution. When we say we're in the civil rule, we means that we are under the rule of law, where the law is the supremacy with which we live on, is the Bible of a country. Everything that has to do with the law has to be obeyed. Judgment, of course, are the ultimate orders of the law that the citizenry need to obey. Where the orders of court and judgment are flouted, it means that we are living in a lawless society. The rule of law no longer prevails because the court is saddled with that responsibility
from the constitution
of interpreting and enforcing the law. When they interpret the law and say this is what the law says, and if you flout the law, they say this is the punishment the law says, then the executive will carry out. But in what we see here is that the court gives judgment and this executive look the other way and this go on normal. It is not normal. It's still boiled down to the argument or the question you raised that Okafo just attended to. Does the civilian government have the power to suspend our constitution? And the answer is in the negative. They don't have such power. Does the government have the absolute power to not to obey court order? The answer is in the negative. The government, they are to lead by example. Whenever there's a court judgment against the government, they are to be the first to obey the court order, to show to the citizenry that this is the way to go about our society. So when you ask me, when court orders are not obeyed, what do we, you are pushing us towards a banana republic, and this is what is giving room to this rumor of military, attempting to take over the power by force. Because if there are chaos in society, the military always step in to quiet the situation. That's why you have a state of emergency. Military rule per se is an emergency rule. So
and it should not happen in a civil
at all. So those in government should also behave themselves so that we don't have this kind of rumor that most likely will translate into a proper coup. So they should live within the confine of the law so that we don't experience we don't go back to where we're coming from.
Okay, for 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute. The government themselves should stop being involved in action that suspends the constitution. You cannot stop people from protesting by any means. If you want to do that, you approach the court. If you have sufficient reason to stop people, you have sufficient reason to present to the judge. No police officer, no police authority have the power to stop people from protesting. They shouldn't be doing that. Okay, all right. They should also allow critics so that people will vent their options. People will vent their evaluation of the government. Stop attempting to box everybody into one opinion or one party state or things like that is not attractive.
Okay, just on a lighter note, in Edo State, if you go into a council of a meeting not wearing Tinubu cap, you'll be suspended.
And that is why AA Abubakar Atiku Abubakar said Tinubu is gradually tearing the country into police state. Because how can a governor, elected governor, give instruction that for you to come into my executive meeting, if you are wearing it, if you must wear this cap that has Tinubu symbol? What does that supposed to mean? Are we in a military era? You see, that's why he said those in government should not, put up that kind of action that pretend the constitution to be suspended, because it is a right of citizen. And those you are appointed to your cabinet to dress the way they choose to dress. It's enshrined in the constitution. Why compare them to them as if they are a military, arrangement?
Court martial.
Yeah, military arrangement that you must dress in a particular way.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be.
Okay, all right, Okafo.
Yeah.
I'm warning Philip, if he doesn't wear cap when he's coming tomorrow, he should not enter this studio. All right, it's been Matters Arising, all the matters that we try to look at, from all political parties and all things that the nation is going through at a particular time. Thank you for staying with us. It's been wonderful having you.